Clever Trevor here once again, and today we'll be looking at our 2-month-old plantain trees, and we'll be identifying a couple of things. We'll be looking at how well our plants are growing. We'll be looking at things that we notice about the plant 2 months in and what we could do to improve the growth of the plant to help the plant grow better and stronger. We'll be looking at a number of different plants at this stage, 2 months old, because what we notice is that we have a variety of different growth 2 months on. Some plants are larger, some plants are smaller, some plants have slender trunks, some plants are developing at the rate that you want to see them growing at. And what we'll do is identify each of these. We'll identify any growth issues that we notice in the plants, and we'll also go through a treatment and follow up with that treatment a month from now to see what the results of that treatment gives us. And based on that, we could say that our treatment works, it helps to develop the plant, or we need to try something different in order to get the plant growing the way we want it to grow. So we're looking at 2 months old plants right here, and if you'll notice, we have some that are smaller, some that are larger, and we have some that look like they're growing well and ones that look like they're not growing so well. Alright, so, and that's okay, because the reason for that is we get suckers at different sizes, we get them at different stages. However, they all went into the ground at the same time. The great thing about it is 2 months in, you want to see your plants all having leaves and all showing signs of new leaves growing, which tells you that your plants are growing healthy. Now, these videos that we make are to track the progress of how well the plantains are growing, so you can use these video tutorials to observe or to help you as a guide to say when your crop is growing well, to teach you how to grow a plantain crop well, and we are going to go all the way through to the reaping of the crop. Alright, over here we have a plant that has a slender trunk and the leaves look kind of drooped. We have an inner leaf that's turning yellow, which for me is something to be concerned about. So what we've done with this plant is added soil around the root. We're going to remove this yellow leaf, that's right here, and we're going to add a dash of fertilizer, and we'll check in with it a month from now. Alright, so I already went ahead and added the fertilizer, like you can see. You don't want to put the fertilizer too close to the trunk of the plant. We're going to go in and remove this leaf right here. That's a yellow one. Alright. And we're going to give this plant a little extra water each week to assist with the growth of the root system. And we'll check in with him in a month. Today is the 21st of November 2021, and on the 21st of December 2021, we'll be taking another look at this one. That's when we'll be making another video. So each month we'll be tracking the progress of the growth of these plants. And if you notice, we add soil around the root of the plants. Now for me, I add the soil around the roots on a monthly basis compared to doing it twice through the life cycle of the plant. Like most persons will suggest that you add soil around the root of the plants at 3 months, and when they start sending out the shoot for the bearing of the new fruits. However, for me, I chose to do it gradually instead of twice. So I'll keep adding 5 gallons of soil around the root of each plant till they get to their point, the point when they start producing fruits. By that time, it should have enough soil around there to support the growth of the root and to strengthen the trunk of the plant to allow for it to be strong enough to hold up the bunch of fruits, because these can be pretty heavy. Alright, so as you notice, we're looking at different plants. I'm sure you notice different things about each plant that we're looking at. However, each of these are already treated. By treated, I mean we added soil around the trunks, we added some fertilizer, and that's a slow release granular fertilizer to aid in the development of the plant. Now, the other thing that we look for each month are the leaves that are no longer useful to the plant. So sometimes you'll notice the plants will have some leaves that are turning yellow, some leaves that already turned yellow, some leaves that are brown, and they'll have leaves that are drooped. Let's see if we can identify. Over here we have maybe 1 or 2 such leaves. Let's take a look at this one. This one is not so yellow yet, but in another couple of days this one will start turning completely yellow, and we'll need to remove it because basically it's using nutrients that's not helping the plant. So it's best to remove it because it's dying and it's draining the nutrients instead of helping the plant to produce more nutrients. Alright, so like I said, these are 2-month-old plants. Another interesting thing you'll notice about plants at 2 months sometimes is that they start producing a new plant. We call this a shoot. This is a good sign. This shows you that the growth and the reproduction will be consistent. So when this plant gets to the stage where it will have fruits, it will also have a second plant that's ready to produce the next set of fruits soon after. Here's another 2-month-old plant with a larger shoot than the one you saw before. Alright, so this is great. This is what you want to see with your plants. You want to see your plant growing healthy and tall. And at 2 months, this plant is about 10 feet tall, with the leaves spanning wider than your outstretched arms. And this is great. Alright, and next to that, over here we have one that's 3 months old, and it's just showing a shoot. Alright, and Another interesting thing about the plants that you want to see is strong trunks. And what helps you to get strong trunks is the soil around the root that helps the root to develop more. More roots equal to larger trunks. Alright, so if you are able to look at the trunk of this plant, it's measuring approximately 8 inches across compared to this 2-month-old plant. Alright, you take a look at the trunk. Here it's half the size. So this one is approximately say 4-5 inches across compared to this one a month later. So a month from now, the other plant should be looking just as strong. Alright, and we go over here. This is another 3-month-old plant putting out a shoot. And this is what you want to see 3 months in. This is how your plant should be looking. Alright, and that's great. There we go. These are all 2-month-old plants and they're growing well. There is signs of new growth of leaf. The leaves are a nice green color and the leaves are clean. Notice you don't see any spots, you don't see any insects, and the trunks are strong enough to support the weight of the plant. They're not drooping, they're not bending over, and this is what you want to see in your 2-month-old plants. Alright, so we're looking at them, and we're trying to identify anything that's out of place. We're also looking at how well the plants are growing. And here we go. Now, remember we were talking about leaves that need removing? This is one such leaf. Alright, so for example, this leaf that's almost completely yellow, it's a leaf that you will remove because this leaf has done its job. Alright, it's quite easy. You use a sharp knife or you could use a machete. You simply slice it close to the trunk and it's removed, and the plant will continue to grow. Now, some of these plants we will need to add soil around the roots of them this month. Alright, if you notice, this one has no soil around the trunk. However, it's still growing well. Reason being, it was planted about 2 feet deep into the soil. So sometimes when the soil is deep, then you don't necessarily need to add soil around the root of the plant immediately. However, I like to see my trunks at least 6 inches across in diameter, in radius at 2 months. So for me, I'll definitely add soil around the trunk of each plant to boost the growth. Alright, so we'll keep going through and we'll keep looking at other plants that are 2 months old and how well they're growing. Alright, there we go. Over here we have some 2-month-old plants that we'll definitely have to treat. Even though they're showing good signs, they have new growth of leaf, the leaves are green and pretty. However, for me, I prefer to see a larger trunk. Notice these ones, they are 2 months, however the trunks are slender and the leaves are large. They're showing new growths of leaves. So these ones wouldn't necessarily need to get fertilizer. However, what treatment could be applied to these ones is to add some soil around the trunks to boost the growth of root, and the growth of root in turn boosts the size of the trunk. So take a look at these. We'll revisit them a month from today and see how well they're progressing compared to today, when they show that they'll need some support for the trunk to get larger and stronger. Alright, so thank you for your time. This is Clever Trevor, and we'll see you in a month when we'll be taking another look at our plantain suckers and how well they're growing.